So I am doing something really cool today with AI that should save me hundreds of hours per year. So this all starts with a problem that I've had in the past with my sales processes, which is everything is super disjointed. I'll have my CRM over here with the stages that a lead is in, and then I'll have like over here. So let me actually show you. I'll have the CRM over here with like the stages that the lead is in, but then I'll have everything else separated. So I have my access checklist, my onboarding checklist, my outreach toolkit, my sales script, and my weekly operating cadence, all as separate processes and systems living in separate places. So when I'm doing outreach, I'm jumping between my outreach toolkit, which has all of my cadences of like how far apart I should make contact and which method of contact. Like I've already planned that out. So I have to like jump in here to see, okay, who's in the CRM at this stage. And then I have to open my CRM notes and see when did I last contact them. And then I have to see what they're due for, set reminder tasks, all these manual processes, all these clicks. And that is part of what I'm aiming to eliminate. And then when I go to email people or DM or write them a letter or send them or call them, like I have to go back to this drive, to this document to review the scripts. And then when I make a teardown video, which is like what I'm offering in my cold outreach, then I have to come to the teardown checklist and look at this in the background as I actually like go through and look at and do the teardown on the video. So it's not like customer facing, it's not like friendly for that. So it's very disjointed. So I figured, you know what, we have AI at our disposal. It's 2026 and I'm out of Manus credits, which is normally what I'd use because it's a lot easier to go from zero to a fully functional product when you're using Manus. But whenever I run out of tasks, then I just open up Cursor. It's only $20 a month versus Manus where I pay like $300 a month right now. And I can get a bunch done with Cursor because I'm not giving Manus any more money this month. But yeah, anyway, what I did was I basically described the idea, which I'll scroll up so you guys can see as much as it'll allow me. But I basically told it like, hey, I have these documents and ideas that I want to turn into an actionable dashboard. So that I don't have to constantly reference each of them separately. I just want to log in, go through the motions, and here are the documents that I have. How can we make them all work together while also keeping them separate? Because some stuff is internal for me and my team, and other stuff is for the client to see. So I went ahead and it's in multitask mode now, but Cursor has a plan mode that allows you to create a plan before you start working on the actual build. That way you're not trying to fix the plane while you're flying. You're looking at a detailed plan to see, does this accurately represent what I want to build? So, it built out that plan and I gave it my documents. I downloaded all of these documents as markdown files and then uploaded them to Cursor. And it made a flowchart of like how it all works together. So I was able to sit and see like, okay, yes, I do want a signed in client to have separate access. I want there to be separate parts of this that are for internal and external viewing. right? Client facing and non-client facing. And then it basically broke down everything that I need into different minimum viable products that need to work together. And so I reviewed these features. Does the daily prospecting command center like do what I needed to do? Which is basically like, hey, can you like fill out my scripts based on the variable information, so name, company name, city, etc. That way it can fill all the custom fields and scripts that I would normally have to do piece by piece over and over and over, instead of me doing it just one time and then it fills out the script for that one person, and then I have to go delete it or not make a mistake on the next one. Instead of that whole thing that happens when you're reaching out to people like this, I just do it one time and then it adjusts it for who I have. Now, the next level thing that I'll have to figure out how to do is how to connect it to my high level account so that I don't have to put contact information into two places. But let's get the minimum viable product out first. So yeah, each part of this, I just confirmed like it is what I want it to be. And then whatever edits I wanted to make, I just made it here, right? Once that was ready, all I did was, there was a button here that said build, and I just clicked build. And I put this in the build in parallel mode, which is actually my first time using this because I don't use Cursor as often as I use Manus. But they have basically two modes. You can either build or build in parallel, and build in parallel is like, how I understand it, when you have a lot of different things that need to be built, it'll create a bunch of sub agents to just focus on each individual task and then pull it all together. And since I had basically 5 different minimum viable products that needed to be built, but also converge and work together as one large thing, I said, hey, let me go ahead and try this multitask mode. And now, that was like, I clicked start. I had that start building when I started this video, which was a little over 7 minutes ago. And now it's been done. So now we check out what is built. So Cursor is a little different than like what I'm used to. It's always a little bit more technical. Like normally if this were on Manus, then I would just type it in and then I'll show you an example because I built my website on Manus. So like I would type in my prompts, do whatever I want to do, and then it would load the preview right here and I could browse through everything and see everything and see what the errors are and such and such. But on Cursor, it's more technical, but it's also super smart. So right now it's not showing me anything. So I actually don't know like what it looks like. But yeah, this is basically always where I get stuck with Cursor, is because like it builds stuff locally. But anyway, what I normally do at this point is just say like, show it to me. Figuring out whatever it has to do. It has to start a dev server. Now that it's pulled up in like a local browser, what it'll look like. And basically from here, I can inspect it, play with it, understand it, and type in the chat what my edits are, like what I like, what I don't like. But I will say that especially using the high-end GPT models or Codex models, the very first run of the build seems to be very high quality. And I should use Cursor more often. It's just that it's more technical, but it would save me a lot of money. But anyway, yeah, the point is now I get to see like, does this do what I intended for it to do? So let's go through it. And again, like, I'm not really teaching anything here. I'm just kind of showing like what's possible. And also, I kind of am on a new path right now of just like showing the world what I find interesting on a day-to-day basis. And this is one of them, like building stuff like this, to make my life easier and save me a bunch of time, and do things smarter than other people. That way I can do them better than other people, have a higher quality of life, spend more time with my daughter and my wife and with my dogs. Like, that's meaningful to me. So that's why I show this. But in any case, let's go ahead and see if this works as intended and what edits we need to make. You almost always have to make edits. Okay, so I filled it with some sample data on some, I'm targeting pools and outdoor living contractors right now. So let's see what the add prospect button is like. So you can add it, but you can't really, there's no way to edit their, there's no way to edit their information, which is weird. So I'll take that as a note. And I'll just take notes as I go, basically. Instead of doing it one by one, because then that can be sticky. You forget stuff along the way. But let's just go with the example. So Blue Water custom pools. So let's see. So it's tracking, it has his information, name, city, what level of priority, and then what part of the sequence are they in, specifically, like all the details there. I'm a bit confused about all these labels. It doesn't seem like any of them are checked off, but they're at some point in the sequence. So that might be something that I want to look at. Does it automatically fill in? It doesn't. Okay, yeah, filled previews right below. So I can pick, I have 3 cold emails, but basically I can pick any of my scripts and then it'll fill in. So, hey, yeah, this is 100% good to go. I can literally just copy and paste this, which is wonderful, because it means I only need to add their name and information one time, and then all the templates will be ready. And when I get on a phone with them, I can call them and read off of the screen and say, hey, blank, this is Cody. Did I catch you at a bad time? Blah, blah, blah. It'll all be filled in. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so that one's good, except for the labeling system here and the actual ability to edit the prospect. Now on to the second part of things, which is the checklist. I also don't like the MVP labels. That's supposed to be internal. So I'll tell it about that. But yeah, this is basically like a checklist. And for me to see, or for me to do a teardown. So go and see what they could be doing better, where their surface opportunities are. The only thing I would want to see here is maybe an autofill, like an autofill for this. But that's not a big deal. That's going to be something that I'm doing live. So it's very personal. It's going to be a recorded video like this. So I'm not pressed on that actually. Secret shop tracker. Yes, this is so that I can submit test inquiries and see, um, kind of track like what's up with them. But something about this is almost like a general thing. I wonder if this resets when I switch the prospect. So let's actually test that. So let's say I submitted on June 29th. I did a website form, response time, let's say it was 2 hours, response channel, phone call, number of touches, one, notes, and 3 to 5 wins testing. So let's go back up and see now if we switch the prospect, if that resets, because I need it to reset. Okay, it does reset, but then does it save? So let's go back to Blue Water. It saves. Okay, so that does what it's supposed to do. Then for the guided sales call workspace, this part is too vague for me. Because basically, and I didn't give it clear instructions here because I kind of wanted to see what it would come up with, but basically I want to be able to read from my script, but basically be able to fill in the blanks. And that's what I didn't describe well to it, is I want to be able to fill in the blanks and then it saves to the prospect profile. That way I can basically use the script as a note-taking space while also not having to look somewhere else at the script. I can just continue looking at my screen, which is usually where, if we're on a Zoom call, they're right in front of me right there, or if we're on a phone, I can have my phone next to me. But it serves as like a space to take notes, follow the script, and then also return back to this, because not everybody's going to convert, but sometimes I'm going to want to return back to a sales call for training purposes or to understand where I left off with that person. This doesn't exactly achieve that. It is very like outline, like bulleted, but that's not what I was looking for. So I will have to edit this. And then the objection drawer. Yeah. So, this is just putting in my objection scripts, so that when they come up, I can just click on those as a quick reminder. I don't need to have cards on my desk. I don't need to be at my desk. I could be anywhere as long as I have access to the internet. If I host this online, I can just log into that. If I host it locally, then I just need my laptop. Boop, boop, boop. I'm sorry if this is boring. I'm fascinated right now that it just built this so quickly. Client onboarding and access. Okay, so this is where you would maybe add a client, new client. Okay. This is just like a tracker. Okay, I want to save opening the client portal for after I get off this page. 12-week operating cadence. Okay, right here it has a repeat on like week 1 stuff, like the way that it's showing it. So I'm going to have to talk to it about that. But this is for me to track what their existing baseline is. And take notes along the way as like a 90-day operating schedule. So it's good. Okay, cool. So it's gotten the idea, and I'm sure you've gotten the idea by this point already as well. But this is the type of stuff that I've been building for myself. I'll do another video on the Growth Command Center that I built, which is basically like a reporting and I'll show you, but it's something that I've built to manage my clients, and it has helped save me at least 10 hours a week. Cause I was, and these time savings aren't hypothetical. Like I was spending hours doing stuff for the Growth Command Center, and I spend hours and more. And this isn't even for the time savings. I didn't even build that with that in mind. This is really for the confusion savings, like being unprepared because I can't remember what the folder was named or what the file was named or where the paper is, like stuff like that really like messes with me. Like I can't have quick access to the best version of my work and like preparations possible can really mess me up in the sales process. So that's why I built this. Cool. Custom onboarding. So I don't have to pay Typeform. I don't have to pay Google. Like all of that is here. All of that is going to be saved. Like this is fire. All built in, planned and built in less than 20 minutes. And then the other thing is, so like I had to feed it all of these files, right? But it's stuff that I already had. And if you already have like all this stuff documented, it's just a matter of putting it into a document and then downloading it as a markdown file. So I'm going to go ahead and finalize these edits so that I can start uploading my leads into here. And there's one more thing. So I told you Cursor is a little bit more technical. You can just host things locally. So this will just exist on my desktop, or my preference is to be able to host things online. That way, like, cause like I have a client portal over here. They're not going to be able to access this client portal if like from my laptop and they live wherever. So I had to put this online, and whereas like on Manus, it would be something as easy as, you know, just clicking publish and then it has its own domain that's attached to Manus. I have to push this, like this has to, a repository has to be created in GitHub. By the way, I don't know what any of this stuff means. I just know that this is what I've had to do. But a repository has to be created in GitHub, and then I have to push it through like, I can't remember what I use, either Supabase or Railway or something like that. I think it's Supabase. And like that, and then attach it to a domain that I own, or I think I'll also have a Supabase domain. But basically I have to take those steps to actually publish it to be live on the internet. So it's a little more complex, but for $20 a month for the pro plan, and you don't really run out of credits as fast, and you have access to multiple models, like it's, you know, it's a trade-off, but definitely super cool.